Hello everyone and welcome back to Brown Coat Reviews. I'm your host Laura and this is my favorite Clark Kent wearing glasses co-host, my husband Scott. So, couple quick announcements. So we have a 500 subscriber giveaway and guess what number we're already at? 171. You guys are amazing. So this is the giveaway. To find out how to qualify for this giveaway, you have to go to the end of the video and then I will give my glorious spiel on how to qualify and enter for a Ken Lashley variant cover that is remarked and signed by the artist. Very cool stuff. First things first, I have a very, very big announcement to make, which is we are going to do a bit of reorganizing within the channel. So first things first is we are going to change our name. We are going from Brown Coat Reviews to Married with Comics. When I came up with the name for Brown Coat Reviews, it was definitely based off of our love of Firefly, except overall, when you hear the name Brown Coat Reviews, you don't immediately think of comic books and comic book awesomeness. Married with Comics definitely kind of ties in all of our humor and tongue-in-cheek fun, and it just means also that you get more Scott time on camera. So we are going to be rebranding, so you will see a brand new intro. And one of the things that actually Robert had asked Scott was why we use the piano in the background. So for those of you that are curious, pay attention to the outro at the end of this video because I will show Scott, who is the amazing piano player behind our introductions.
We basically came up with that intro because she mentioned she wanted a specific
combination.
Well, yeah, and she wanted it to allude to something from the theme song for Firefly. But we didn't want to get into all this trademark stuff, and she wanted something that could kind of work, so we picked the Americana.
The hoedown.
Hoedown, and then I integrated, if you listen, there's part of the Firefly theme song in there. And me playing it on the piano is just because I have a piano and I don't have a keyboard, so it was not synthesized. And it sounds all right, but it was just an attempt at us creating something again for the channel instead of having to borrow or sample something.
So needless to say, with our new introduction, the amazing person on the keys will be my awesome husband. Yeah.
Because it didn't sound right on the clarinet, which is the other instrument I play.
You know, we could integrate the two together. It'd be really fun.
We could let them hear me play violin. That would be scary.
So the next big change that we're going to do is I want to kind of get us into more of a schedule. So we are going to be releasing videos on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I may throw in some extra videos kind of here and there, but at the very least you can start expecting the videos on those specific dates. I want to go for 11 a.m. as our release time. If I need to change that time, don't hold me to it. I may move it to the afternoon or evening, depending on a couple different factors. So at the very least, you know, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, all three videos should be at the exact same time. The other thing that we're going to change is we love our pull list videos. We love our, Married with Comics videos where we kind of show you our different titles, which is what he's paying more attention to right now.
Sorry.
But
not sorry.
But what I want to do is I want to take that new comic books videos that I've been posting on Sundays, and instead I want us to be talking about kind of key things that we're more excited about, so that way maybe these are things that you may grab, and instead of us talking kind of after it's possibly sold out, you can maybe keep an eye out for certain titles and we can talk about different series that we're enjoying. And then we get a chance more kind of on our later videos, our Wednesday or Friday videos, to talk more about reviews and titles that we're enjoying. So little bit of revamping, but this is the last one where we're just going to kind of sit here and hold up comic books and say this was our pull list. But we are still going to keep answering your questions. We are still loving your comments. Yes. So please make sure to continue to comment, like, subscribe, share, and have a little bit of fun with us. So, Married with Comics continues. So this was actually a short list for me individually because my big title is in the us pile. So the first one that I grabbed was Batman Reptilian, and this is Garth Ennis. I wasn't sure I was going to grab this, and I kind of changed my mind at the very last minute, grabbed it, and I have read it. Here's my challenge. The writing is really, really good. It's definitely dark, twisty. There are a couple little, extra sides of Batman that I really liked. The problem I have with the series is I found the artwork to be incredibly distracting. So I hated the artwork. I liked the story. I don't know if I'm going to continue with this one.
Really?
So it's that surreal impressionistic artwork that sometimes I find it really, really works, like Seven.
Was it because he was trying to portray like the sight of a reptile?
No.
Or... Okay.
I'm like, if it was the sight of a reptile, I would totally be like, oh, that makes sense. And
all right.
No. Maybe you guys are going to disagree with me. Maybe you love the artwork, but for me...
I haven't looked at it yet, so...
Stray Dogs issue number 5 has already been released. I've already talked to you all about it. Loved it. Can't recommend it enough. Grab Stray Dogs. The trade is coming out this September. And there's the Laura pile before I get into the goodies at the very end.
Oh my. So I have Spider-Man, and it's the Chameleon Conspiracy Part 3. This is Amazing Spider-Man 69. Yeah. Double check. Has anybody commented yet and answered my question about what they thought about the conspiracy?
No one has said anything, so I don't know if
nobody's reading the conspiracy
it.
but me, and that's okay. Maybe I'll share my comments with myself next time. Harley Quinn number 4 from the new reinvention of still liking.
And they did advertise the Long Halloween on the back, which we did watch and we loved.
Part 1. Yep. So then Wonder Woman Black and Gold. I did get 2 covers on this. Okay, so I really am digging Jen Bartel artwork. Something about that one in particular, the birds in the background, the gold, just I had to have it. But I also really liked...
I like the A cover.
The A cover?
Yeah.
So I got both. I may bag one and read one or something. Just so you know though, because some of you out there maybe have been doing like the black, white, and reds.
Yes.
Some of the others, this is along those lines. So it's black and gold, but check out the interiors. It's literally black and white beautiful. With gold highlights. And they managed to do enough shading with those 3 colors to really make it interesting still. I think it's very much an art style that if I had been told about, I would have kind of wrinkled my nose at. But seeing it, I'm very much on board with. Kind of adds to the story. So that was it for the me pile.
Then the us stuff. So, Detectives 1038 or 1038.
Yes.
The cardstock cover, which I love.
We're still loving the B covers on those.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the one title that we have been talking about the most, so excited for.
I don't know, what was that again? I haven't heard about it.
Spawnsuniverse!
Like every day.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. And yes, I have read it. And yes, we will talk about it later. Here's the A cover.
Oh my.
Do you want to?
Is that She-Spawn?
That is She-Spawn.
Wow.
So bad.
She'd be bad.
So, J. Scott Campbell, amazing cover.
Do not want to come home late to her.
You don't mess around with that woman. Gunslinger Spawn.
Oh my, I'll be your Vanna.
Yes. J. Scott Campbell cover again.
So many shades of him remind me of various versions of Scarecrow I've seen.
Yes.
Including some from Zenescope in the Oz stories. In a good way. And not knocking it. It's just like that silhouette, the way that the jacket's curled, the hat, the thinness of the torso. Very much reminded me of Scarecrow.
Medieval Spawn.
What?
I love that
Spawn
cover.
on a horse. Are you kidding me?
And what is this one?
He is awesome. I think Medieval is one of everybody's favorites, or one I hear talked about a lot.
Definitely.
Thin.
I know. Todd McFarlane's going to hunt me down, and he's going to tell me that I'm no longer allowed to be a Spawn fan because I can't remember the name. Did I mention I'm terrible with names? But the name of this particular character, which is another J. Scott Campbell cover, which apparently you don't get to see. So.
I'm sorry. I was doing research for you that we should have done before.
Uh-huh.
But we didn't. There he is. Archangel. Angel of Death.
Awesomeness.
Spawn Angel.
Can't believe I've forgotten the name. I'm sorry.
He's a cherub spawn. No? Okay.
This is the Booth and McFarlane cover.
Booth? Who's Booth?
I don't know.
Really? Seriously?
You really want to remember these names.
I'm just saying.
Brett Booth.
Yes.
Really?
He's pretty cool. He's the guy that did the Gunslinger, too.
And then this is the Todd McFarlane cover, which he has hinted that, of course, the cover shows characters to come.
Yeah, let's see in the cape.
Gorgeous. So...
Is it a cape or... It's a cape.
It's a cape.
All right.
Awesomeness. I have read it. The artwork inside is actually just as beautiful as the art on the outside.
Well, I guess I could show some of the interior. So look at that. Like,
Right.
Where's the one I saw?
The beginning.
Well, that one too. But look at this. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, come on. I hope you can see through the glare. Isn't that bad?
One of my favorites.
Yes.
I just love it. The story is definitely very good, but I will say, I mean, like, the art cannot be denied.
Look at this. Look at Gunslinger. Just saying. That's pretty cool.
So, I could literally keep flipping through this whole thing and say how awesome it is.
But we won't. On camera.
I will resist the urge.
Yes.
So, before we continue with my next set of goodies, and then we get to your questions and awesomeness, thank yous. So, first things first, Jelliot, who is an awesome friend, love her to pieces. You all saw that I had posted the video about 7. Doing a review talking about how rare it is to find these titles, and someday I will gather them together. She had a copy of issues 5, 6, and 7, and she sold them to me. So now I have the beginnings of my own run of 7.
Very cool.
Which is amazing.
Very, very cool.
And I have a lead on issues 1 and 2, so then I may only be 2 issues away
A clue.
from completing this set.
Okay.
The other one, we are actually doing a separate video about this, but...
Because it's a big deal to us.
This is definitely a very, very big deal, so I'm going to hide it again. But we do have a separate shout out and thank you to BJKicks.
In short, thank you.
Definitely.
And more to come, but thank you very much.
Yes. The other thing that happened over the last week was for Father's Day, Play4Life Comics did a 50% off sale on all issues at their store. So I had a $20 budget and I actually stayed $2 under. You would have been so proud of me. $2 under. So for $20, I got this pile. And yes, Scott's already sitting here going, well, this is all Laura and 2 issues, that's us. But
it's all right.
So Stillwater is done by Chip Zdarsky, and I've heard amazing things. I was between this series and Wind by James Tynion IV, and like I had to choose at the very last minute, and I went based on plotline and art. So I'm like, let me try Stillwater. It's 2 through 4, and I'm hopefully trying to find issue number 1 without having to pay horrendous amounts on shipping and handling. Oblivion Songs, this is issue number 31. Wonder Girl, so this is the blank cover because Joelle Jones is coming to Comic-Con, and I would love to have her do a sketch on this. I'm like, I don't even care that the corner's just a little bit smudged.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's gonna have a beautiful sketch.
That'd be cool. I hope we get it.
Chew, so for those of you that saw my Chew video, Chew, over there, it's behind your head. My beautiful Omnivore editions, right there. So this is the sequel to... So this is the sequel to Chew. And Sweet Tooth, issue number 1 and 2 of Sweet Tooth The Return. Which
the comic book apparently...
100 times better than the Netflix. So if you like the Netflix series, go read the comic book.
In same vein, Lock and Key comic book. Better than Netflix series.
Gosh, yes. So... I will say, if you've never read the comic book, you may actually enjoy those series better. But
yeah,
because I
have not read Lock and Key, and I didn't mind the series. She was just growing the entire time. Yeah,
I'm like, it's not right. So these were some of my cool finds because they literally were 50 cents. I'm like, okay, for 50 cents, I'll take it.
I'll buy that for $50.
Yeah, Stillwater number 5, and this was Wind number 4. So, I'm like, eventually I'll grab more Wind. That sounds terrible. But I will grab more.
Breaking Wind.
I'll grab more of the Wind series.
We have Greyhounds for that.
God, yes we do. They had a copy of Nice House on the Lake. This is the B variant cover that I got for 50% off, which you all know the series is going nuts. So, happy investment there. these were the Us titles. So I am still slowly working my way through a Spawn run. So I found Spawn number 7. And Harley Quinn Rebirth for 50 cents.
Gotta have it.
Issue number 9.
Cool. Very cool.
Thank you, Play4Life Comics. All right, folks. Now,
questions?
Your questions, comments, awesomeness.
Yes.
Did you know that you got caught on camera?
I didn't, but shout out to J Pop. I just wanted to say hello to you again, sir. I've bumped into you at our LCS, Ultimate Comics in Raleigh. It was nice meeting you in person.
Yes.
And
hopefully I'll get to meet you next time.
Yes, hopefully. What did I, when did I get caught?
You got caught on camera. So it's really, really funny. Don't worry. Apparently
this is my I'm not worried face.
Very not worried. There you go. So our last Married with Comics video, you see, I give the grand announcement, I talk about the remark, and then I hand the comic over to Scott. And there's this moment where you look down at the comic book and you give this really obvious swallow. And poor Retro was worried that you were in tears over having to lose the Ken Lashley variant.
I'm just saying, we're not at 500 yet. Yet. If we don't get there, I know a certain somebody that might keep that for himself. I'm just
saying.
I wouldn't do that. What we'll probably do if we don't reach 500, we haven't talked about it, but we'll probably give it to our top contributor or something like that.
We'll still give something fantastic away, but
y'all deserve it. We just want to make sure that we can share as much as we can.
I'm just saying, if you want to stop the tears, we need to reach 500 before this poor man has to look at it another week. So, Doug said, so you asked about kind of turning points for people. What was that moment that got you either back into comic books or kind of changed how you looked at things? Doug mentioned that his first trade of Saga was kind of what changed everything for him.
Really?
He had been reading, ages ago, then sort of got back into it, read it about a year ago, and then suddenly started checking out other independent titles as well as, other comic books.
So I have heard that Saga is a really good run, and in fact, Chris, another friend of ours, has loaned us some copies of his graciously.
I'm almost done.
I have not started them yet. She's been burning through them. So yeah, that's more inspiration for me to pick them up and read.
It's unique. It is a really, really unique series. I will give it that. And not in a bad unique. It's genuinely, I haven't read anything like it before. So
you're not calling it unique to be polite and not say it's weird.
Yeah, I'm not doing that Southern thing. Bless your heart. No.
Right. Well, that's different.
So before I talk about Robert, because Robert had a great question for us, Cynic Studios is over in Sweden. Hello, Cynic Studios.
Beautiful. Never mind. Sorry. Beautiful Swedish people we like. Yeah. I'm sorry. Do not think I'm making fun of your accent. I first of all grew up with Sesame Street, so anytime somebody says Sweden, subconsciously, unconsciously, I hear Swedish Chef. I know you don't sound. I apologize to the entire country right now. I have met some beautiful, wonderful people from Sweden, but it's just like a Pavlovian reaction. I hear that. I hear the Swedish Chef in my head. I'm sorry.
Which makes me wonder, in Sweden, do you have the same issue where you grow up with the Swedish Chef and then suddenly you're just like, wait a second, Swedish people don't sound like that.
That's not us. But
just like English people, watch Mary Poppins and they're like, that's not a British accent.
This is probably true.
So I wonder if it's like that.
I'm sorry, Cynic Studios. I do love a lot of things about Sweden. I have only traveled through the country once. I would love to go back.
I want to go. So Cynic Studios said that, he used to read comic books back in the 80s. And what he wanted to know was kind of what's a good jumping in point for Superman and Spider-Man. So this one, I actually reached out to some friends on our Facebook group that I absolutely love. Highly recommend the K-Squad. It's run and organized by a fellow YouTube channel, BJKicks. Love it. You'll see me posting on there all of the time. But I reached out to them because I'm like, what do you all agree? Consensus-wise, what would you say is the best choice? Because there's so much to choose from.
What did they say?
Spider-Man was easy. Everyone agreed and said Ultimate Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis.
So that was going to be mine, actually. And I didn't know that they had said that. I agree. Yeah.
Scott's completely on board on that one.
Yep.
Superman pretty much came down to Man of Steel by Byrne. One Man of Steel. Then the other one that I recommend, and a couple people kept kind of mentioning it, was the All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. That's just another kind of classic, really good Superman story.
Like back to basics.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to read a ton of kind of back history, and you can just kind of jump into that story. But once you've kind of finished those, and if you're looking for additional titles, let us know.
Well, okay, and I will say this too about, so Cynics, if you were reading it in the 80s and you don't want to jump in with Ultimate Spider-Man by Bendit, you could, and I only say this because of the plot line, find One More Day, Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you too many reasons why without giving away some, but if you find One More Day, being that you read in the 80s, that's a bit of a bridge. I mean, there's some stuff in there that you're going to be like, duh, I knew this, but there might be some stuff that stokes the fire and makes you want to go on and pick up some newer things. So check that one out. That would be my personal also recommendation, aside from Ultimate.
Robert. So beyond the fact that he has decided that his absolute favorite quote is, "I am her telekinesis."
Well, that's true. Yeah.
What he mentioned as his turning point was actually Stephen King's Salem's Lot. And so that kind of led him to read Dracula, and that sort of led to The Lost Boys, and then, of course, the comic versions of 30 Days of Night and American Vampire. So everything sort of started with Stephen King, which, never a bad thing to start everything turning with that.
The movie or the TV series? Or the book?
It's a great question. I think he was talking about the book.
Okay.
But were you talking about the movie? I don't think the TV series was...
They did do a TV series.
Was it any good?
Nothing was as good as the book, but
I'm gonna say, for most Stephen King things, the book is almost always better. It's just he's got so much.
His writing's very
full.
Yeah.
So his question for us, Robert, not Stephen King, he hasn't reached out to me yet, was: is there a series that you would like to see return? Now, if we're talking comic books, or are we talking
oh man, is
the
there a series
TV
you would
series?
Like to see return? Oh man.
So TV series is easy for me. Firefly, original cast, can't replace the original cast.
They should finish that one.
That would have been nice.
I mean, I know the movie came out and they kind of did, but I still think there's also a lot more they could go into and make it into episodes as opposed to just a movie. However, for me, so I'm kind of interested to see, they're bringing back, He-Man.
Yes.
They're kind of bringing all that back. That was a cartoon I watched when I was much younger and was always kind of like, why am I watching this? But still didn't turn the channel. It wasn't my favorite, but I also kind of was like, okay, this is kind of weird, but I wouldn't turn it off. So I'm interested to see somebody's new perspective on that. But if there's something that I absolutely really want to come back,
I'm going to give my comic book answers while he thinks really quick. For comic books, season 2 or volume 2 of Witches. Scott Snyder has talked about writing it. He already kind of has a plan in place. He just hasn't released it yet, and he's driving me a little nuts. I'm like, love you, Scott Snyder, but we need more Witches. There you go.
That's a good one. I don't know if it needs to come back or if they just need to continue it. So DC's done some interesting things lately with this whole New Frontier. Some of the characters they've introduced are, generational, and I get it. And I guess maybe that's kind of where their focus is now. They're moving on to the phase of Offspring. But one of my favorite series by them ever was Gotham City Sirens.
Yes.
It focused on a element that hadn't really been... They had focused on or put out individual titles on different ones, people in the, different characters at different points. But they hadn't really done, here they all are. In one continuous series, they're all interacting, and it was really well done. So part of me wants to know, and then what? Because, a lot of stuff has happened in the DC universe since then. Yeah. There's been a wedding, almost. And then right? Yeah. And you've got all this new generational stuff coming out with, the Offspring and the New Frontier. Let me see Gotham City Sirens Volume 2 now. Whether you focus on the mothers or you focus on bad turned good, good sort of bad, whatever, as far as the characters.
Yeah.
That would be one that I would be very interested in seeing. It'd have to be the right writer.
Good idea.
But I think that would be very cool. There you go.
I love Gotham City Sirens.
Yes.
So, yeah. And do we have a question for them for this week? Beyond, really quick, as we're making all of these changes, to the channel and kind of reorganizing everything, I love hearing your feedback. So if you prefer kind of our original format of here's our pull list, here's the comic books, we're going to answer your questions at the end, have a little bit of fun, great, let us know. If not, I'm debating whether to kind of split these into 2 different videos, so that way you kind of get our more informal Q&A section at the end in a separate video. But I want to make sure that whatever content we are releasing is stuff that you all are interested in. So please make sure to comment, especially if you've got any feedback or some suggestions. We'll definitely take it. We will talk to you all on Wednesday.
Yes.
And we will be talking to you all again very, very soon.
New stuff coming. Very cool.
Can't wait to hear what you guys think about our new introduction, and look forward to seeing Scott in the post-production.
Sure.
Talk to y'all soon.